So we have Richard Cooper's 20 red flags men should be aware of. It's from his book, The Unplugged Alpha. He says, number one, daddy issues. A woman who expresses disdain for her father or had a acrimonious, disinterested or absent relationship with him growing up. These women often do not value masculine, virtuous alpha men in their lives. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of base this off of my experiences instead of doing the overarching what we see on the internet. So yeah, I was dating a girl who did have her mum and dad together. She was one of three sisters, and they just had no respect for their father. Now, I'll admit he was a bit of a bum, but he still worked, a full time job. And when he came home, he just had no respect from any of his daughters or the wife, and they just spoke to him poorly, didn't care for the rules he set, and yeah, it was just a really toxic environment. And it's actually a red flag I picked up on very early on, but I didn't really act on it, didn't leave her as quickly as I should have done. Thankfully, I'm out of that situation now, but yeah, I think that's a really good red flag to be aware of. So yeah, even if you do have a woman whose parents are still together, how does she treat her father? Does she just walk all over him? Does she not respect his masculine traits and his rules that is set? Or does she just walk all over him? Because she's more than likely to start walking all over you. Number two, feminists. Women who are I can't say that word, indoctrinated, there we go, to believe men are privileged, hold women back, or succumb to the patriarchy. Yeah, I think you're going to find a lot of women at least have some type of feminist thinking because that's what they've grown up to see, especially with their mums probably being very much in that kind of feminist ideology. And you're going to be dating a lot of women who probably are working, full time working, and possibly earning more money than man. So you're going to see that a lot. However, at the same time, I'm dating a girl right now who still has those feminine traditional values, but she still is, full time working. So she's in that type of system. But if she's just constantly berating you, if she feels like, oh, woe me and men control everything and I'm not getting what I deserve because I'm a woman and men are taking everything, you just can't have a healthy relationship but by having that because they're always going to have some type of disdain just due to what's dangling in between your legs. Point three, the unhappy and unlucky. These women always have some problem in their life that attracts men to rescue them from their own bad existence and choices. They constantly have unhappiness and rob man of his joy. Yeah, you don't want to be. What's it? The guy in white shining armor trying to save women from tough situations. You want to be with a woman who has a good head on her shoulders, who isn't always unhappy and depressed and thinking, life's against her because she's going to bring that negative energy into your relationship and she's never going to be happy and she's always going to want more from you to try and save her from that bad life that she has. She competes with you, a behaviour that aims to reduce a man's worth and test his competency. Well, a woman's always going to want you to likely earn more and be in a more respectable decision so she can look up to you. So if she's competing with you, it's probably just saying that you need to be a better man or she's going to end up leaving you. Um, Women say they want to be their own woman and make their own money, but at the end of the day, they are going to want you to start bringing home the bacon. So if she's competing with you, it probably means that she doesn't respect you. Ideally, you're going to want a woman who is probably earning less than you, who's not as successful as you, and she looks up to you. And I think that is the nice yin and yang balance. And if that is kind of off, that scales off, then you can have a real hard time keeping her happy in your relationship. Point five, keeps men around from her past. Oh, that's a big one. So this includes women who seek attention from or still pine for ex-boyfriends or other male friends. Well, look, unfortunately, guys, she's likely to have a past. I think it's going to be very difficult for you to date a woman who doesn't have past relationships or past flings. Unfortunately, that's just the modern dating marketplace at the moment. But does she keep him around? Well, if she's a well respectable woman and she cares about you and she wants something long term with you, she will not have any of these men around. She'll delete all their numbers, she'll block them off everything. And if she's in a friendship group where she does have close male friends, then she'll choose you over those male friends out of pure respect for you. And if she starts getting aggressive and argue and say you're controlling, then obviously she just doesn't respect you the way she thinks she does. Because at the end of the day, look, think about her ideal man. Whether that's Justin Bieber, Brad Pitt. Do you think she'd disrespect Brad Pitt or Justin Bieber and keep previous men from her past around? Absolutely not. She'd get rid of those so quickly because she'd want to keep the high value man in a Justin Bieber or Brad Pitt, for example. And that's the same standards you should hold yourself at. You want someone who is crazy about you and is not wish-washy about her feelings towards you. Poor with money. Wow, this is going to be a big one. I think a lot of women are in debt, and same with men as well. Men are probably in debt with all their university fees. So women who have horrendous debt and terrible spending habits. Yeah, I think the worst part is, yeah, they're probably working and earning their own money, but if they're just spending their money on handbags and every day you have a new Etsy or vintage order that arrives at the door, then yeah, they're just spending their money poorly. Hey, they can spend money poorly on you if they're going to buy you a nice Xbox or something, but usually it doesn't go that route. But yeah, you want someone who's responsible with money, and if they are working, they want to put some money away for a rainy day, and her money should be your money, so to speak. Unfortunately, you're going to find too many women who don't view that in that regard. Sorry, my breakfast is fighting back against me. Point 7. Violent women. Oh, come on, guys. That's a non-starter. If she attacks you or uses physical abuse, yeah, that's... don't think you need to spend too much time on that one. If a woman's going to raise her hand at you, then, yeah, show the door. Extremely jealous. I think a woman who really likes you and is in love with you is going to feel jealous, but I think there are different types of jealousy, and Richard here has used the term extreme jealousy. So it's a bit more higher than the normal jealousy a woman might feel. So he says, these women act like a predator drone, constantly checking receipts, phones, and social media to monitor a man's every move. Well, yeah, they say if a woman is super jealous and doesn't trust you, then she's probably the one who is probably the cheater as well, because she knows what people can get up to. So I'd probably say if a woman's being extremely jealous like this, then you should probably be jealous, not jealous of her, you should probably be wary of her, is the word I'm looking for, because she might be doing something naughty on the side that you don't know about. But yeah, sometimes with a jealous woman, you just kind of never make them happy or make them feel secure. Any compliment or reassurance will just bounce off of them like Arma, and they're just never going to be happy, and they're going to absolutely suck the life out of you. Number 9, party girls. Well, this is a big one. Because you're going to hear from a lot of women, you can't control me, and just because we're in a relationship, I can still go out with the girls and have a few drinks and go to nightclubs. Yeah, for me, you need to set that boundary very early on, because if you don't set that boundary early on, they're going to test your strength and you're going to succumb to it, and they're going to say, oh, you're just controlling, you shouldn't control what I do, you have insecurities, and then you're in for a world of pain. So he says, women who continue to party several nights a week at nightclubs or bars while claiming to be relationship material. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're putting yourself in a situation where it opens the door for single men to approach you. Because single men rarely approach women outside of the party scene because they don't have a lot of confidence. But they get the confidence after a few drinks, and they're in a vicinity where they feel like they can approach without being judged. So yeah, a woman doing that, getting all dressed up, wearing the red dress with the red lipstick, she's giving off the connotations that she wants to be approached, and that is not a good look. You don't want to see your partner, your long-term girlfriends or possible wife going out giving off those signs, because it shows a lack of respect for you. Because come on guys, they're not going there to dance and have a good time with the girls, they're going there to get attention from men. Number 10, halfway through this, heavily tattooed and pierced women. This is a big one, isn't it? These features are often a sign of someone who enjoys mutilating their own body. Rich notes he has never met a woman with several visible tattoos who didn't bring at least 3 or more red flags to the table. I'll be honest, I've never really dated a heavily tattooed woman. Wait, I have dated one, and she actually did have a sleeve, and she had a ton of red flags. So the one experience I've had dating a woman who's heavily tattooed, yeah, was not a good experience. So I can certainly vouch for that one experience. Look, I think it just comes to my interest and my types here, because I don't want to be walking down the aisle and seeing my woman who has a sleeve tattoo. That's just my preference. Again, I've only had one bad experience. I'm sure there's some heavily tattooed women who are absolutely delightful people who are, would be a great wife material. But personally, for me, I don't want to see her in a white dress with a bunch of masculine tattoos, but that's just me. Number 11, big notch counts. Women who have slept with many men are statistically far less likely to be monogamously, God, I'm really struggling with my words today, to a man in a healthy way over a long period. Yeah, I've seen the studies, and I think Rich has referenced those studies in part of the book. Yeah, if a woman even sleeps with 2 guys, the possibility and the percentage success rate of that relationship declines drastically, because at the end of the day, look, think about this. Even if you lowball it, you're dating a woman who's 25. Let's lowball it and say she went out on 4 dates each year from the age of 18, and she ended up sleeping with 2 of those guys. So what's that? 2 times 7, that's 14. So at the age of 25, already she's slept with at least 14 guys, and that's a lowball. That's a lowball estimate. And now she's going to be competing. Sorry, you're going to be competing against those previous 14 guys. So do you have a bigger dick size than those 14 guys? Probably not. Compared to 14 other guys, are you as attractive? Are you as tall? Are you as funny? Do you have as good game as them? Did you provide them the best experience? Like, you're competing against these 14 guys at all this criteria, and that's tough. She's not going to forget about her favorite sexual experience with a guy. That's going to be ingrained in her head for the future, and she's going to compare those guys against you. So just that alone is going to make it difficult for her to pair bond to you in the long term. But yeah, it's hard to say what is considered a big notch count, but yeah, I think just normal healthy men are repulsed by high body counts. The thought that the woman you're gonna possibly put a ring on her finger, knowing that she's had 10 other guys inside her, it's not a nice feeling. That's nothing about being misogynistic. It's ingrained in us biologically. We just don't like that. And guys who said they're completely fine with it, they're lying to themselves. Or they're just like backwards in the head. Yeah, so we're over halfway through now. Single mothers. I've never dated a single mother, but I believe Richard Cooper has, so I'm sure he has some good insight on this. He advises men not to raise another man's child, as it shackles that man with 100% responsibility but 0 authority. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Men may even end up paying child support for kids they didn't even father. Yeah, that's wild. Even before I had a lot of dating experience, I knew from the get-go when I was on these apps or I was dating in person, if I found out she had a kid, for me that was just a complete no-go. And that doesn't mean the woman's bad or she's not good for a long-term relationship, but just for me, ingrained in me, I just thought I didn't want to look after someone else's kid. And especially due to the finances, I'm going to have to be paying for someone else's offspring. And to me, that's just a complete non-starter. Why would I date a single mother when I could date someone who doesn't have a kid, doesn't have that baggage? And I've got nothing against single mothers. I think it's wonderful that you brought a human being into this world. I much prefer a woman to bring a baby into this world than abort it. That's just my opinion. And I'm not a very religious person, but I feel uncomfortable with the whole abortion talk. So I have great respect for single mothers. But when it comes to dating, like, why would I put myself through the aggro of dating someone who has a little one alongside them? Especially if the man's still in the picture, and I have to question, why is the man not in the picture in the first place? Like, did you pick wrong, or did you leave him for some odd reason and break up a possible family? It sounds like an absolute headache. So, anyways, yeah, single mothers is not for me. Doesn't make them bad people, but yeah, why go down that route when you can find multiple women who don't have that baggage? Women seeking validation is point number 13. Those who use public social media to gain attention, to fish for likes, and post provocative pictures for thirsty beta males. Well, all women seek validation, don't they? That's why they put makeup on. That's why they post hundreds of photos on Instagram. Like, I haven't posted a photo on Instagram in months. I think I only post photos on Instagram if I'm been on holiday, or, I had a great time out with my girlfriend. But other than that, I don't think I've even updated my profile picture in about 4 years. But yeah, it's different. Women do want validation, but they should only want validation from the man they're in a relationship with. And that is the key part there. They're going to dress up nice to impress you. Not going to be dressing up, like I said, with the nightclub thing. They're not going to be going to the nightclub wearing a tight red dress when you're not there. They want your attention all the time and your validation all the time. And if they're seeking it from other guys, it's because they're trying to put themselves on the market to see what is out there. But yeah, for me, even if they were just posting bikini photos, like, who are you posting those bikini photos for? Are you posting them for yourself? Are you posting them for your girlfriends? No, you're posting those for the 60% of followers who are men. And fair play to them. I think guys would do the same. Do you know what I mean? If that was how to get a mate. Instead, men got to kind of flaunt their wealth instead. Number 14, she was a sugar baby. What's a sugar baby? I know a sugar daddy, but what's a sugar baby? He says, women who have looked for money in exchange for dating. Ah, I see. Well, isn't that just dating in general? Like, at the end of the day, we all pay for sex. Men pay for sex. Men pay for dates that lead to sex. Men pay for house, which leads to sex. Men buy a ring, which leads to sex. So, yeah, this whole, like, prostitution word, bro, like, we've been paying for sex forever, and we still do, but just in a different type of way. But yeah, he continues to say, men are encouraged to search for the term seeking in their past emails to ensure they aren't trying to make a 304 a housewife. Yeah, you can't turn a 304 into a housewife. I think Coach Corey Wayne said that, didn't he? We need a 20-minute mark, so I'll rush through these last few ones. Pathological liars. These women are not trustworthy because their entire world is a house of cards. Well, yeah, once a liar, always a liar. I think even little white lies, they add up. And yeah, I don't think love can exist if there is untrust and lies in a relationship. Now, I think all women lie in some regard. They'll lie about, their past. They want to keep certain information out to not make them view in such a bad negative light in front of their boyfriends. But yeah, if you start picking up on lies, especially early on in a relationship, then I think you need to swerve that relationship early on. A good woman would be honest with you, and they would be happy with the consequences, because they'd rather be honest with you than have a relationship that's built on a foundation of lies. But yeah, the word pathological just tells me they're just lying constantly. They lie without thinking. It's like telling the truth to them when it comes to lying. Number 16, baby rabies. Women approaching their mid-30s who are desperate to get married and reproduce. Yeah, my viewpoint on that is, like, what were you doing for the last 15 years? Like, women are in their prime at the age of 20. You can find, you can find your husband in your early 20s easier than you can in your late 20s to mid 30s. So my question is, what were you doing that whole time? Were you just sleeping around a lot? Were you going on your gap year, getting your braided hair and your tattoos and sleeping with Miguel behind the bar? Like, what were you doing during those years? That would be my mindset. So yeah, that's why I'm in a long-term relationship with a mid 20-year-old, and she put long-term relationship at the top of her list. Um, but I'd imagine if I was in my 30s and I was dating women in their 30s, then I'd have to have that question to them. It's like, what were you doing? Of course, they'll come up with the reason, oh, I was working hard and I wasn't interested in dating. But when a woman says they're not interested in dating or they were single over a period of time, they weren't really single. Let's be honest, guys. Number 17, hissy fits. Adult women who resort to toddler-like outbursts. Yeah, that's not good. Come on, you're an adult, and if you're having hissy fits and sulking, look, even the most wonderful women, look, their mood swings are like the weather. Sometimes you can't judge it. Sometimes you can't expect it. As a man, you just need to be cool, calm, like a slow river. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be some choppy waters, and you're the captain, and you've got to steer the ship. But if she's constantly got hissy fits and she does it in public and she berates you, then yeah, that's when you know she is not ready for a relationship, and you should press the ejector button. Not being in control of the birth, failing to have 100% certainty that effective birth control, like condoms or IUDs, is in play. Yeah, that scares me because the girl I was talking about who had a bad relationship with her father, we had unprotected sex, and I'm just thinking, if I got her pregnant, how different my life would look now, because she was a walking red flag, and I put my dick inside her without any protection, without the sandwich bag. I went in raw, and I'm just thinking how different my life would be today. So I got very lucky, and I would never ever have sex with a woman I was just casually dating without a condom now. But yeah, when you're horny and the pussy's waiting for you, you're gonna dive right in. I get it, but I got lucky that I avoided having any kids with the wrong woman. Uh, Final two, drama queens, women who crave drama and will manufacture it. Yeah, don't wanna. It's kind of similar to the hissy fits. Can't be dealing with drama queens. Massive red flag. Come on, women, grow up by now. Finally, addictions, dependency on substances, alcohol, drugs, shopping, reality TV, and social media. Yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of women fall into that category. I think a lot of men do as well. But it's all about, look, for me, my girlfriend is on her phone a lot, but also, she loves cooking, she loves doing her jigsaws, and when we're together, her phone goes away. Like, as you can see, I do some gaming. I'll be doing my gaming. She might be doing her jigsaw. She might be, on social media or watching a cooking show. I think it's all got to be, you know, dependent on the scenario. But yeah, if she's just constantly on her phone, especially if you're on a date with her and she's, swiping away and uploading photos, then that is a massive red flag. But yeah, those are all very. I don't disagree with any of them. Of course, a couple of them I don't have experience with, but overall, I agree with that. What I will say is, I just feel like even the perfect girl is going to have one or two of these red flags. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think even many guys will not have one of these red flags. But yeah, that's just my overall summary. Yeah, I think Rich is speaking the truth, which is why he's so successful on his channel. And yeah, no, I enjoyed that, and it's certainly some food for thought if I ever get back into the dating game, which hopefully I won't need to anytime soon. Anyway, guys, thanks for your time, and see you later.